Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think it's okay now. You should get the whole okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think it's okay now, and you should get me on the different platforms. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm going to try to the previous session we talked about this perception and the angels asking about God and about the very meaning of this creation. Why? While they know that the human being, the mankind and the human being is going to spread corruption and destroy the world and bloodshed everywhere. And the answer was that God knows what the angels don't know. Now we have a second verse here where the picture is quite different, and the understanding of the very essence of human being, it's different. And we have it when it is said in the Qur'an, وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَى شَهِدْنَا أَنْ تَقُولُوا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ إِنَّا كُنَّا عَنْ هَذَا غافلين. When God brought out from the children of Adam, from their backs, their descendants, and made them testify, am I not your Lord? They said, yes, we bear witness. Unless you should say in the day of resurrection, we were heedless or follow, inshallah. So what we have here is the very essence of this verse is telling us something about human being, about the very essence of human being and the intimate dimension here, and this connection between human being, between the individual and God, because it is said, and this is from the very beginning, meaning when the human Adam and human beings were created, that God took from their backs the descendants, all the human beings, and put something in this world. So here, as much as we had this negative perception at the beginning that human beings are spreading corruption on earth, now we have something which is in the essence of our creation, a spark. So when it comes to this understanding, it's important to get it right and to get a right understanding of what it means. First, what we get from this is the very notion of fitrah that we find in Surate, her very nature, as something which is a connection, and that is throughout our history, throughout the history of human being, because it is said, لا تبديل لخلق الله. There will be no change in God's creation. So this is part of who we are, that we find in us, in our being, in our heart, in our even consciousness, this natural yearning towards the very essence of the creation. And it means coming back here to the very essence of our being on earth, meaning one God, and coming back to God. Having said that, we need to understand here that, in fact, the deep answer to the essential question, the true answer to the essential question, is within our heart, is within ourselves, is deep down, that we have to look for it. It's a quest for the answer. So, as much as when we deal with our nature at the surface, with the superficial understanding of who we are going to corrupt and we are going to destroy. But if we come back to the very essence and we understand that the quest for truth, the quest for meaning should be an intimate journey, it's a journey within ourselves. That's what we understand through this understanding, through this verse, that it's part of our understanding of the very Islamic conception and the conception of the of human being in the Islamic tradition. Now, there are three main teachings that we should get out of this understanding now. The first is that, in fact, we deal with ourselves and we need to come back to ourselves and to find this truth, to find this spark that we have within. It's part of us, but we need to go for it, to look for it. So it takes effort, it takes discipline. We have to deal with our very nature being. So the first teaching here is be aware, be knowledgeable about the way you have to deal with this intimate struggle. There is one dimension that is at the surface of who you are, pushing you, driving you towards what could be corruption. And there is another dimension which is disciplined to take efforts and to be disciplined with the self in order to find this spark within us. So this is once again something which is our understanding. The second is that, in fact, between us and our heart, there could be veils. There could be a veil. And in fact, we have to unveil what is a hindrance for us. And when it comes to the very notion of kufr in Islam, kufr means a heart that is veiled, that the very nature, it's no longer a salim heart, a sound heart. And this is why إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ salim. The people who are elected are those who come back with a salim, a sound heart. So to find this sound heart, we have to uncover the very nature. We will find it as something which is essential in our understanding what it means to find the truth. So it's an ongoing struggle. So the quest for meaning is an ongoing struggle, coming back to the essence of who you are, the essence of this spark. And the third, to be educated. We have to find our way in this dimension here when it comes to finding the truth, the quest for meaning, the quest for the essence, the quest for God. So it takes effort, and we have to struggle within ourselves, with our own nature, to get the very essence of who we are. So education, it's important, and knowledge about it, it's important. But the second thing which is also important here is that we are dealing with ordeals. We are going to be tested in this life. We are going to face suffering and tortures and psychological instability and death. All these things in our life are elements, are obstacles, but are reminders on our way to come back to the essence. In fact, we need to suffer to come back to this truth. We need to face troubles and to be, in fact, tasted. And this is al-ibtila that Allah put on the people that He loves, that help us to come back to this. So when we come to understand and we understand the meaning of struggle, so even what is bad, even what is an obstacle, even a test, even an ordeal could be the way through which God is calling you back to the essence of your being, be on the right, and to find your right way in the way you deal with yourself. So these are also things that are essential in our understanding, which means that everything that is happening in our life has to do with us struggling with our own self. So as much as we can spread corruption around, we need to find peace and wisdom within through this struggle, in order to be able afterward to spread peace and good and goodness and kindness around. So this is the way we need to get the other side of the equation when it comes to what we were saying with the first verse that we try to explain. And once again, this is exactly what happened with with Jonas, that we were talking about, when he was in the whale's belly and he was in the darkness and not seeing any way out from this, and he came and he said, La ilaha illa an subhanak inni kuntu min adh-dhalimin. Dealing with here, understanding this verse, that it takes effort for us to be just with our own self, and then to be able to celebrate Allah's grace, God's grace and mercy, and then to come to the very essence of Tawheed. So remember, La ilaha illa ant subhanak inni kuntu min al-zalimin. And adding to this, what I keep on repeating in our understanding of our life on earth. Never forget,